My name is Odun, and I'm so excited to be coming your way this evening. Depending on where you are, I guess it could be night in Nigeria or in the UK, but yeah, in the US it's just 4 p.m. and I'm so excited to be coming your way this evening. So today what we will do is just to familiarize you with some of the topics we will be talking about during the course of this show. We have a lot of topics lined up for you. Questions that women are scared to ask. Tough questions that no one wants to address. We have all those lined up for you on this show. And with me in the studio today, I have a darling friend. Hi, Lily.
Hi, Odun.
How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Great.
And looking forward to hear from you.
Of course.
Okay. And so I have another of my friend all the way from Nigeria. She's the mother of boys. Hi, Tung.
Hello everybody.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and how are you too, darling?
Good. In the course of the show, we'll be talking about marriages, we'll be talking about finances, we'll talk about entrepreneurship. Of course, we'll talk about fashion because we are women. That's what we do, Fashion is part of our life. So we'll be talking about that. And then we'll be asking questions, the tough questions. Like when it comes to marriage, am I allowed to just have my spouse as my best friend? Some people will say I can only confide in my spouse. Is it a crime to have a best friend? Because you're married, you can't have a best friend? That's one of the questions. Another question we'll be talking about is sexual pleasures. So, how do you pleasure your spouse? Are you allowed to sit your spouse down and tell your spouse that this is how I want to be pleasured? This is what I want you to do to me to really enjoy sex? Or am I just allowed to stick to the missionary style? Is it a crime to be more experienced sexually than your spouse? Those are tough questions that I've had several times that women don't want to come out to ask. We feel embarrassed. Is it ashamed? Lady, you think those are questions that women don't want to talk about?
Yeah, I think it's because of our religious beliefs and our culture also. It doesn't really allow for women to be more expressive. So men are allowed to
express themselves,
get into sexual activity at a young age, but girls can't do that. And then men can have multiple partners. It's okay, it's just being a guy. But a woman can't do that because then she's a loose woman, like you said. So there's so many things I think that play into that. But I think that we've made some strides in that regard. That there's a little more liberal-minded people out there right now. So maybe now we're getting out of that cage that that the box doesn't.
Okay, you can see Lida is ready to go. Like she's ready to dig in. But like I said, we are just tantalizing your taste bud, and those are parts of the questions we will be dealing with. One other question I find interesting is finances. Someone actually just sent me a text before I came on this show asking me that my husband wants me to be paying my salary into his account. What do you think?
That's a no-no.
It's a no-no. Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. So you see, those are parts of what we will be addressing.
Interesting.
And then when it comes to finances as well, is it a must for us to have joint accounts? What exactly is joint account? Are we allowed to still have separate accounts outside the joint account? Like, I'm a woman, I'm going out, I see something I like, I want to buy, but because all I have is a joint account, I'm expected to call Oga. Call Oga and tell Oga, oh, I saw this stuff, I like it, permission to buy.
Well, it won't be that straightforward.
So those are issues, real life issues that we intend to address on the show. And we have plans to bring in women that are experienced, that have been married for a while. We have Christian women, we have realistic women, women that will come up and just tell you the way it is. Another thing we are going to talk about is abuse and rape. That's trending now. Rape and abuse is a becoming a common thing in our society. Personally, to me, our society is so messed up now that anything goes.
Is it new?
It's more now. It's
maybe
more
because
now.
people are speaking out more now.
Maybe.
Speaking about it.
Maybe. There's an excuse for abuse. There's always an excuse for abuse, especially rape.
Is it on the side of the woman or on the side of the society judging? Because I've heard the case of, what was she wearing?
Exactly, that's actually what I'm referring
did she lead him
to.
on?
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Like, I don't think what I'm putting on should make you rape me. It's not an excuse, it's not a reason. But we still give those reasons. Even women still give those reasons. I remember the recent case of rape that just happened. I read some things online that women were saying.
Oh, the women are the worst of the judges.
Yes! Look at what you are wearing. Why won't you attract things like that? And I'm like, excuse me? So those are parts of things that we need to talk about as women. We want the world to hear abuse. We are the one involved. We are the ones that are abused. So I'm going to come to you now. Like, what questions do you think we should address on this show?
Okay, thanks, Odun. You've said a lot, and it basically covers a lot of things that bother women. Yeah, that bothers women: marriage, finances, in-laws. I'm sure that'll be interesting, isn't it? Let's talk about in-laws.
Yeah.
Mother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws. I think that'll be very interesting too. Talk about our religion. I mean, let's not forget. I mean, we've got Christian women, we've got Muslim women. Everybody should be involved in this.
Yeah.
So let's talk about religion and how it affects our lives as women. I'd like to talk about that. Let's talk about childbearing and what it does to woman. That's the truth. Let's talk about trusting God for the fruit of the womb. I think that's very sensitive.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the one of childbearing just brought something to my mind. Part of the questions we have lined up is this issue of IVF and surrogacy, especially when it comes to Christian women. I've seen some women said it's a sin.
That if you go the man-made ways, you don't trust in God.
Yeah.
But let's take it a step further and talk about adoption. That one.
Exactly.
That's a no-no in our
Exactly.
society. Like,
Exactly.
do you know where it's from? Do you know what the genetics are? Do you know what the family history is? And I think those are some of the things we really need to tackle as a society, and to understand that there are kids out there, and if you profess that we want to make the society a better place, one of the places to start actually is to look at the kids out there and say, how can I help? Can I adopt the kids? And it's not even just for people that are looking for kids. You've had 2 kids, you can add one more, so why don't you adopt?
Yeah. So you see what we have lined up for you. Those are part of the interesting topics we will be talking about. Thinking of Africa, where we come from, we are not trained to ask questions as women. We are groomed right from a younger age to follow the bidding.
Just listen, not hear.
Just be submissive. Learn how to take care of your husband.
Be seen, don't be heard.
Exactly. Our culture, like you said, our culture doesn't encourage us to ask questions. Our culture doesn't encourage us to actually voice out what we are feeling, which I think is getting better now. So, what do you think?
We're still waiting on our men to catch up. Yes, women are speaking out. They're becoming more independent.
Oh, now they are speaking out and they are called
arrogant.
Westernized. Your work is getting to your head.
Right. And that, I think one other thing that kind of sums up everything, or I think you can use in every topic, is the pressure we put on ourselves as women. In trying to, we wear so many hats and then we want to excel doing everything. I think it's okay to let women know, maybe this is me being lazy, but that it's okay if you are not a fantastic cook. You can be a great companion to your husband. You can be a great support in so many different ways. But if you can't cook, I'm not saying you don't make the effort to cook or to learn if you don't know. But if you're not, whipping out fantastic meals every day. Don't kill yourself. Over that.
It's even easier now. You
I
can
know,
order
right?
food and refrigerate it.
Right, exactly. And God should not mind that.
Throw it in the microwave and
right. If you're the mother, you're the partner, you're the chauffeur, you're the housekeeper, something is going to have to, give sometimes. And so I think we as women need to encourage ourselves to, don't ask too much of yourself. I'm not saying don't stretch yourself to as much as you can. We have different capacities as women. But let's also give ourselves some slack. Let's not put so much pressure on ourselves. You want your kids to be straight A's, but at the same time you want to be getting reviews as an excellent performer at work. You want your husband to come home to a home cooked meal every day. You want your house to be spick and span. You're gonna run crazy. It's true. I mean, so it's okay to ask for help. That's where I'm going to. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask God to pitch in. It's okay to rely on friends and people that are there to help you in some ways to make it work.
Thank you, thank you for coming. I'm sure some people are like, I can't wait for the real.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
And I'm sure we're gonna have you come back one of these days.
Anytime. I'm more than happy. A great time. Thank you. Odun.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right.
All right, people. So we're gonna go on a short break, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back to RealTALK with Odun. Now I have a new guest in the studio with me. Her name is Adeshola. She's my cousin, she's my best friend, she's my twinnie. We fight, we make up, we laugh, we move on. Welcome, Shola.
Thank you.
Okay, Shola is a mother of 3 beautiful kids. They are my darlings, I call them my darlings. And Shola is a musician. Shola has been married for more than 10 years, so she's well experienced. She is a teacher as well. She loves kids. She's a beautiful soul. And she will be also telling us some of the questions that she'll want us to address on this show. So, Shola, what questions would you want us to talk about on the show? As a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a minister of the gospel?
All right. Thank you, Odun, for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. And as a mother, I want us to talk about teenagers and learning how to, but we can learn from ourselves, as we call into the show, ask questions, from the questions we can get to, address issues and learn from
each other.
From everybody's input.
Talking about teenagers, one of the topics that I'm looking forward to is sexual orientation. Because what is going on in our world right now with kids coming up to tell you that, yes, I'm a boy, but I feel this way. I'm a girl, but I feel this way. And being African women, we are trained to kabash.
Yes,
we go straight to casting and binding and casting the spirit out,
Yes.
So is that the right way? Is that what we're supposed to do as a mother? That your child or your teenager, don't be surprised. Teenagers, it's happening. It's happening. Those are issues we should not be shying away from. It's happening every day. So how do we address it? How do we deal with it? How do you handle that? How do you manage that? So that's that. Thank you for bringing that up, because that just comes to my mind as soon as you said teenagers.
That's a very vital point.
Yes.
And can I come in with this again? As a teacher, there are some things we are meant to accept from our students. Like if you see them probably talking about, having a conversation, and about sensitive, you know, my culture does not accept that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Talking about this, like, yeah, a first grader talking about this, but to them, it's okay. It's like they want you to educate them. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay for you to,
even though it goes against who you are, even though it goes against your religion.
But I've learned that, okay, they have feelings as well. All you need to do is tell them what is right and what is wrong. For every action, there's always a consequence. Yeah. So if you make a good choice, bam, you get it. You have the consequence. If you make a bad choice, you have your consequence. You're gonna get it. So, sex education. Yes, you know,
for our teenagers. Yes, that's what we need to talk about. How do we put them through? How do we talk to them and let them understand that it's not wrong for you to feel a certain way?
Thank you for
you know, it's not wrong for you to feel this way. You're actually allowed to feel that way. That's you growing up. It's maturity,
and that will actually make them more comfortable to relate
with you. Yeah.
If you let them know that, oh, it's okay, and the first time they come to talk to you and you are like, you're freaking out, like, hey,
no, like, shut up, don't say that.
But you know, when they come talk to you and you're like, it's okay, I understand what you feel. You know, come to their level.
It's normal.
They will point it out. They will point, even having boyfriend. If a boy comes to talk to your teenager, they will come to you like, okay, this is boy.
Yeah. Well, you must have built up that rapport, that communication.
That's yes. You know.
That communication. Okay. So one other topic I think we should talk about is taking into consideration where we are in the United States of America. This issue of racism, because we think it's only adults that is being affected. But our children are being affected. They are being bullied at school. I had a story recently and I cried. One of I really don't want to say it, you know. It was just giving me an example of what he went through in school. How they say there is a bet that go touch him. You know, he's a Nigerian. Yeah. So go touch him and your finger will be stained. And then you have 90 seconds to wash your hand. How old is he? He's 11. He's 11. So that's something I think we should address. So
they actually need to learn
how to handle it, how to respond to it.
To bully. You know, they need to learn that.
Now that's one other thing I think. Is that bullying?
It's related.
Okay.
To me, racism and bullying is kind of related when it comes to our kids at school, you know, but there are two separate situations, but they are related because they can be like
intertwined.
Because you're African. Hey, Wakanda forever.
Yeah,
you know, they use that a lot.
Wakanda forever.
And from there, they're like, okay, after school, meet with me and I'm gonna show you I'm an American.
Like I told you earlier, there's a lot of questions that we have out there. As women, I can understand that we can read, go on the social media, listen to the news, but there are core questions that we don't get to address, that we don't get to talk about. We will be dealing at it based on where we are from, based on the fact that we are Nigerians, we are Africans, we are trained to respond or to react to issues differently. We are trained to not talk. To just take it, you know, like Tom mentioned earlier, to be seen but not heard. That's the way we are trained. And that is why this show is coming up, because I've always struggled. In fact, I'm sure it will be so difficult for some people to believe. I just start speaking out. I've always been, you know, this person that was just like,
that's a testimony.
You know, I just keep everything to myself. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. It doesn't matter what, I just keep everything to myself. But recently, I'll say I find my voice, not really finding my voice. I just find out that it's good for me to speak out. It's healthy. It helps me to speak out, to just let it out. So aside the fact that we want to air our views on this show, we also want to encourage women to speak out. You know, just speak out. You're being abused, speak out. It might not be you being being beaten, it might not be physical abuse, but there are all sorts of abuse. There's emotional abuse. There's psychological abuse, and we are trained not to just, as long as it's not eating me, it's not abusing me. But you are being abused, so you're allowed to speak out. When you don't know, ask questions.
Okay, so I think part of what we should talk about is, so when do I speak out? When, where, at what point do I speak out?
Yeah.
Because we need to, a lot of women have died just because they kept quiet.
Yeah.
They kept it to themselves. What will people say? That is killing us.
Yes, it is.
What will people say?
Yes, it is.
And I'm not sure if you're done with that point. Another point that is coming right now is our singles.
Yeah. Oh, that was actually the next thing I had attention of
our
talking
singles
about.
and dating.
Yes. Like, you know, we were discussing, and I'm like, what questions do you think especially the matured singles?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I got married late. I was close to 39 when I got married, and I tell people, the shade is real. The digs is real. I remember one incident that someone she ran after me, and she was like, excuse me. They were planning a women conference, and so she ran after me. They were selling, you know, this Ashwebi, this Ankara. So she ran after me, and she was like, that was when I just joined my parish back home in Nigeria. And she ran after me, and she said, excuse me. So I actually thought she wanted to talk to me about the Ankara. So I stopped, and she said, are you married? I said, no. And I was waiting for the follow-up question. Like, why do you want to know if I was married? Because I remember the conference, they were like, if you are 30 and above, the conference is meant for you. So, of course, then I was like 35 or so.
Yeah.
So when she was asking me, I thought she wanted to...
That was different from the expectation.
You know? And I was waiting for the follow-up question after I said no. And she said, oh, don't worry then. I just want to know if you were married. And then my old self took over. And then I asked her, I said, do you want to share your husband?
Yeah.
That was how I had to shut her up. I had to shut her up. So, because these people don't realize that you got married early, you're lucky. It's not easy on us. It's not easy on those matured things. Yeah, it is there. It is there. Like, you're talking and you contribute and you hear something like, what do you know? You're not married yet.
No.
The fact that you're not married doesn't mean you're not well read. It doesn't mean you're not exposed. It doesn't mean you don't know what is going on out there. So those are shades those are struggles. Struggles that matured singles go through. And so when we are talking about the young singles, when do you go on dates? What do you do when you go on dates?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, what do you do? Especially when it comes to Christian women. Like, I am a Christian woman, so I'm sorry if I keep referring to it, because I grew up in the church, so I know what is expected of us as Christian women, as Christian ladies. Like, what do you do when you go on dates? Are you allowed to kiss on the first date? You know?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to cohabitate?
Yeah. I was gonna ask, bring out that point as well, to point that out that, okay, so a single brother and sister, are we allowed to
live together?
To stay, probably even stay overnight, like stay at your brother's place, to pass the night. Are we allowed to do that? Those are questions that will spring up that we need to answer, enlighten them on. Yeah. Because some of us in our days, but now it is seen as a norm.
Yeah, it is seen as a norm.
It is seen as a norm. You're allowed to, you can pass the night now.
You know what, then?
There's nothing there. Okay. So that's the fact. That is.
That's
coming.
That's true. And one other thing with the single is, yes, I met this guy. We've been talking for 3 months. We've been talking for 4 months, and like you feel like it's time for me to meet the family.
Okay.
So that's one other thing we are going to address. At what point do you think is the right time for you to meet the family? Oh, someone actually asked me, am I allowed to propose to my boyfriend? We've been dating for a year and he's not saying anything. Can I propose? Why is it frowned out? Why can't a woman just ask a man? I know it's been going on social media these days and they've been getting a lot of news. Like the guy will just be like, no. Maybe I'm talking about Nigeria anyway. because of our cultural differences and the way we are brought up and all that.
Yeah.
So the guy would just be like, no.
Yeah.
So are you allowed as a single lady to propose? Are you allowed to actually see a guy that you like and ask the guy out? Is it a crime?
Wow.
So that's, then one other question is, how do I know he's serious with me? How do you know a time waster? Is it wasting my time? Or is it just taking advantage of me?
Yeah.
Especially like I said, I know I've been there. I know how, like, the next person we see, we want to tie that person down. Like, I need to get off the street, man. I need to be married. So anybody that comes along, you're planning wedding in your head. You are ready to settle down with the person, especially because you are old. As in the book, in the African book, you are old. So so like, when do you know a time waster? When do you know someone that is ready to, there's a saying that they said, when a guy sees you, they know.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. They know. I've heard about that. They know. And what about the lady? Do you I so much love this about, because like some people will say, okay, if I'm allowed to come back next time, I mean, come back to this world again, I want to be a guy. I want to be, I want to come as a lady. But there's something I love about me. I want to come back as a lady.
Yeah,
well,
of course,
women have
for
this instinct that will tell you that this is good, this is right, this is wrong. So as a lady too, you will know. There are some things that your instinct will actually let you know that, okay, this guy, there's some.
But most of the time, we shut down our instinct. We just quiet it.
Emotions take over.
Like I've been saying that I'll be throwing some of my own experiences during the course of this show, because it's not like your instinct doesn't tell you. Common sense is telling you some things that this is wrong, but you're shutting it down. So how do you differentiate? At what point do you let your common sense take over? Because this thing is broad, it's big. It's just not. Yes, it's not. Yeah. There are questions that women ask, like career-wise as well. There was a question I saw recently where the lady said, "My salary is 500,000. My husband is collecting 50,000. I work in an oil company, and he's telling me to resign my job and come join him." Exactly. Those are and some people. So women are actually saying, "Is your head." Is the head. Go and read your Bible. Yes, go and read your Bible very well. Is the head. So why are you coming here to ask us that question? And in my mind, I'm like, really? Will 50,000 pay your house rent?
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one to talk about. And sorry, I just remembered talking about married women as well. Even singles, compatibility and love languages. We need to talk about that. So how do I know if we are compatible? Like, this relationship as a single, and how do we know? Their love languages in marriage. That's a very, 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 very vital.
Yes, we will talk about it, especially for our African men.
Yes,
our African men. Our African men, and we hope they get to watch and listen on this show. They get to watch this show once in a while, because they need to listen. And receive what we are saying.
They probably should call in.
And
ask their questions. Because we need to learn from them as well. We need to know what they want.
Yes.
So they're allowed to call in, I guess.
But first and foremost, this is for women. I need to just re-emphasize that this is for women. Yes, they can call in, but they are not allowed to call in and antagonize us. It ain't gonna work, boo.
We'll cut them off.
So those are lots and more things that I'm telling you that we are all looking forward on this show. And I have gotten a lot of questions asking me about the platforms or how to watch the show and all. And we are going to be on Facebook, we are going to be on Instagram, we are going to be on Vimeo, we are going to be on our website, Glim's website. Glim's actually has an app. You can download the app and watch the program whenever you want to watch. We have a lot of programs on Glim's that you can watch once you have the app. So all we are just going to say is get your teacup ready, because we are bringing you the tea on Real Talk with Odun. And so until next time when we come your way, my name is still Odun Akerele, and this is Glimpse Extra. Bye.